Hello there, beautiful beings. And hi, Rosie. How beautiful and rare to see you here. Uh, Atri, have you requested? Oh, yeah, you have joined. We've also got wonderful. Oh, we
Yay.
have, yay, we are working well. You can hear. Uh,
Hello.
Hello, beautiful beings. Oh, I love you too, Rosie. So lovely to see you. Nice to see you there, Kimmy. And we've got some, this is a very special live transmission. And I want to invite Divine Transmissions and embrace yourself. Actually, we've got Natalie. This is a super special session because this is the first time we're going live together to actually bring about beautiful, beautiful activation and sound and a transmission. It's going to involve some light language from the wonderful Natalie and the beautiful hand pan from Tree. And there's a very special way that we actually got together. We were on a live meditation on the 3-3-23 live meditation with Ishmael Perez, and he brought together some incredible star seeds and incredible beings. And we had over 10,000 people watching our live, sending light into the world. And from that meditation, there was an intuitive call that I got, and also Natalie got, and Ashley got, and we connected. The three of us have actually connected. And since we've been talking over the last couple of weeks, we've actually felt goosebumps in our body, haven't we, ladies?
Yeah.
We've just felt so much. We've given each other transmissions and downloads. We've recorded tracks together, sent each other sound bites, and sent each other some. Oh, I get goosebumps as I say this. I've had major awakenings just by being connected with these beautiful souls. And is there something that you ladies want to say about how we got together?
I think that you summed it up beautifully. We did the 3-3-23 meditation, and I think almost after both of you messaged me, and we were like, "Oh, we could." You both just really resonated, and I think all of us, all the way around, we were like, "We're totally a trio here. Like, we could feel this. Our energy is so beautiful together." And yeah, absolutely. Sending little bits and pieces here back and forwards and just feeling those chills and activations. And it was just really powerful. So I think for us, we were like, okay, how do we share this beautiful thing with the community, with some of the collective, with individuals that can just have a feel of what we're feeling. So we came together and we thought, let's go out and give it a whirl and get on a live and just, see what happens.
And it's super special because today is a really powerful day, and we've been leading up into this energy. I've had amazing dreams just leading up to today. Did you want to give a little bit of a background about yourself and what you do with light language, or how you got to this space, Natalie?
Oh, this is a cool one. So I do a lot of light language, and the light language, what that is it. As I get close to energy, it's called being clairsentient. And as you get close to the energy, initially starts with a little feeling that feels similar to a sneeze. When you're like, ah, I think I'm gonna sneeze. That feeling goes up into your brain and it tingles and it kind of goes down your spine a little bit. That is a feeling that I get when my cells become charged with the energy, and it kind of activates and it sends this frequency. And instead of a sneeze coming out, light language comes out. And so it is directly stored in the cells of everybody. But when it become active, out comes this beautiful, like rhythmic stuff that is super powerful. And I use it a lot in energy healings. So I have different clients that come through and they'll say, I have this like deep memory of just, I have a fear of water, or I have a fear of something. And I know it's not mine. Like I was born with this fear. I don't know what it's about. And I will work with them and drop into the scene where they have experienced in a past life, somewhere in their soul's journey, this water situation. And I can use my light language to call to say, like, who is responsible for helping us with this situation? Help me transmute this. And while we're experiencing this situation, I can look to the person that I'm working with and give them light language and let them know, like, stay calm. That I speak directly to their nervous system in that language, and it calms their cells and it allows them to just be at peace while we are together in this situation. And the extraterrestrial beings or light beings or whomever might come in, and then they'll assist in helping this kind of just bring forward some of that healing piece. So the light
Amazing.
language, thanks. Our light language has been, it's just been the last couple of years that it has been active for me. It arrived when I had my last child. I have 4 boys. And it just, one day I woke up and somebody had sent me a message. It was a client I was working with at the time. She was trying to get her business up and running. And so I said, yeah, like, let's see if I can help you get some more business pieces put together. She sent me a message, and I was laying in bed when I listened to the message, and it traveled from my root chakra all the way up my spine, and it, like, there was a pop that was in my head, and it just like, it's like with like an egg membrane popped, and I was like, "Bah, what was that?" And then from then on, I would get that sensation of I'm gonna sneeze. I have all this energy in my body. Like, I had no idea what was happening to me. I would go to, I remember I was going to pay for something, and I went up to the cash register, and the cashier was like, okay, it's X amount of money. I went to give her the hand, and I couldn't turn and look at her. I kept doing this, and I was like, what is happening? Something is happening. But it was the cells in my body wouldn't let me like look at her and give her my card. Something was going on with her, and it was just my protection that was coming out. And I was like, got back to my car, and I was like, what was that? And so the more I learned about things and the more I grew and ascended and went on my path, it just has blossomed into this beautiful thing where the energy kind of, I've become more and more clairsentient, and the energy just kind of comes in and hits me, and out comes this beautiful healing, transmuting energy.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, look, light language is just incredible. And it's something that I've been playing with, teaching my children, just to give the sound, the source of their intention to come through sound, rather than this thing that we've learned, like English and language. And we've learned formal, the source of everything is really frequency and sound. And so as I even share with my children, what's the intention of what would that sound like? What would that feel like? And they actually start to naturally speak in their own light language. And I think that's kind of cool at the minute, what I've been playing with the little ones. So they all have it naturally. I was wanting to ask you, actually, how did you come to your what you're doing with sound and the beautiful handpan that you've been playing? You've got several up behind you. We can see that. Tell us a little bit about your journey and your sound journey.
Sure. I'm honored to be here. First of all, thank you so much, Anakiko and Natalie, for having me. My journey started, I feel like my journey started a long, long time ago, but the huge, intense awakening started in 2020 again, like so many of us. And I was just called to start playing this without having any music background. And then I started practicing and getting into the technical side. But then there were moments that I felt so synced with this instrument that I almost felt like I was up in a heaven. And then when I was practicing for hours and hours. And then I started getting all those experience and downloads and getting in contact with extraterrestrials and all the things that happening to you when it happens, and you get your visitors and stuff. So more often now when I play, I have melodies and sounds that are actually coming through me, and I just try to translate it in whatever comes through me to my handpan. And I feel like whenever I start playing this so many times, I call my sister and I'm like, okay, this is a new one. It just came to me. I want to play. Just tell me what you think. And I'm like, just tell me what you think. And she's listening. And after 10 minutes, she's like, I'm like, okay, what do you think? And she was completely out there. She's like, I don't remember. I was somewhere else. It's just, I can't say anything because I was totally somewhere else. I was like, and that's how I started to understand when I play. It really, really activate people's cells and DNA, and it brings them to those memories or those areas that they need to go and just remember a lot of things themselves. So I started using this for a lot of meditations, workshops, breathwork workshops, and different workshops. And yeah, it's been amazing so far, and I love it. It's like my best friend. So.
Oh, that's so gorgeous. That's so gorgeous. I think you're onto the right thing. When you have when all time and space collapse,
Mhm.
and we assist people. I always thought, like, my background is 25 years as a kinesiologist, so I assist people in just becoming their true voice, like globally. And now it's not global. Global is a very limiting word. It's actually
Mhm.
multi-dimensional, multi-universe. And so when the greatest gift I feel is that we can give a person the gift of transmission, of transportation, transmutation of whatever's going on within them. And when you give someone a sound or a frequency and their mind is arrested and they go somewhere else, they go into another realm and they can't even tell you, that's the greatest compliment. Some people would be like, you weren't listening, where did you go, how come and it's like, nah. I'd be like, oh, awesome, describe where you were. I can't even remember. Great, even better. Because they've ultimately gone to a whole other place. So, one of the things that we want to give you guys here live on Instagram, you beautiful beings, soul family, is that I'm just called to say this, is that a lot of who have been feeling unbalanced, a lot of people who've been feeling like they might have high and low frequencies moving through their brain, their body, their chemistry, and we don't always it's integrating into the physical 3D experience. It's tough for a lot of people out there. I want to acknowledge every one of you and just send so much love, because it's not easy necessarily being in a society and in society under systems, under authorities, under governing mental fit into that. So I just want to acknowledge and validate every one of you to not be less sensitive, not shut any of that down. Because if more people were sensitive, if more people allow themselves to really tune in, get honest, get real with what's going on, we would probably have a much better functioning world, right? Instead of having to shut it all down. So I say that to some of the people that I know are within the community, and just to acknowledge each and every one of you for sticking around, to holding the light, and to doing the work that you're all doing. So we love you. Thank you for being present with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because it's your energy that's going to shift whatever we're doing. And then if it resonates with you, this is the first time we're doing it. So we are not experienced yet in combining live sound with 3 different locations. We tried it on Zoom before we did this and it was completely unsuccessful. So we're trying it now on Instagram and seeing if the sound is going to be better. There's obviously no effects or any studio things on my voice, on Natalie's voice, or on the handpan. We're going completely raw, completely live, and it's a little trickier with 3 rather than just going live in your own by yourself with one phone, because that captures the sound that you're in. So please be patient with us. If it doesn't come out as we ideally want in terms of syncing, then it is what it is. But if it resonates with you, please invite people to the live, share it. And I think we're ready to begin. And thank you, Ajanes. I saw your comments earlier. I appreciate your comments. And I see and hear all 3 of you a little blurry, but maybe my connection. Thank you, Love Jump Ranch. Love Jump Ranch. It's so funny, the names. It's so funny. Whenever we were writing songs, right, like songwriting songs, and the conversations you have when songwriting songs, and you might say the name or the title or the chorus. It would just sound so funny and out of context in a conversation. I'm reminded of that when I'm trying to read people's Insta names. Love Chump. So are we going to have some of that golden honey, or should we put it in the chorus in the tea? Or it's just so random. It's so funny. Oh goodness.
And
And
Kiko,
thank you.
and
Yes.
Kiko, I wonder if you tried wiping maybe you have a thumbprint because it's blurry on my end too. So give your screen a
Oh,
wipe over the camera
really? Is
shot
it
and
blurry?
see.
Yeah, or maybe. Okay, let's try. Let's try. Is that a bit better? Is that better?
Hmm,
It might
not
be
sure yet.
internet.
I'm seeing Atri's a little blurry. Thank you, lovely. Big loves from me, Alana Jeunesse. Thank you. Hi there, Kobe. Heart. No, hearts. Is that better? It's probably the connection. I think we
I
should
think it's
begin.
connection.
And you won't
Okay.
you won't need to you just listen. Everyone just give yourself a space to just fall back. Sometimes the most healing thing that can happen when you're receiving light language or receiving sound is even to tone yourself. Your voice is one of the most activating and most healing things that we all have the capacity to use. And so if you feel like singing along or toning to what we're doing, then just do you, whether you want to be silent or you want to fall back, you want to, then just do you. So hearing is fine, great, as long as people are hearing as well. So Natalie's going to be doing beautiful light language, and Atri is going to be playing a beautiful melody, and I will be singing some sound over the top of that. So as we
Okay.
all get together, I just invite everyone to fall back and to whether you're sitting, laying down, just allow yourself to receive the sound, and we call in our divine I am presence, our causal body, and our Christ consciousness body. We send divine love and divine appreciation. I am divine love. I am divine appreciation. As we call in that Christ consciousness night, we actually call in that access to the crystalline realm to activate light within every cell of our body, and to know that the intention we have is to shift, transmute, transform anything that's within our beings, within ourselves, that no longer serves. As we also bring in divine blue ray of power and protection to protect our field, our being, our work, our space, and this process on all levels.
Oi ka tai noi te oi a te o manaya ya na human ai oi hai na ya na yo noi te o moai te tai na ya na yo puai ka da ro me oi na ya na ai o na ya na ai o te o manai o hikate o Oi, 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 que tá, oi, oi, que tá, oi, que tá, oi, que tá, nai, oi, que tá, che du men hai que tá, oi, oi, que tu man hai que te mo boje, hey, night, oi, day. So it feels done. I don't know, how does it feel on your end?
It feels amazing. It feels, look, it feels really, really good. The feedback though, the sound, when you were chanting, I couldn't hear the drum. So I think we have similar situations we had on Zoom. I'm not
Oh,
sure if did you experience that as well, that when you couldn't hear me or you couldn't hear Ashri when she was doing the sound?
Etri was quieter when I was speaking, but I wasn't sure if that was her intent, just be quieter when I was speaking. And so I just did, I could still picture everything that was supposed to be happening and pulling stuff outside of the earth. Lots coming out. So,
A
um,
lot's coming out. I could see what was happening. Sound wise, it didn't fully match up because when I was singing, I couldn't fully hear you or Atri. So
mm,
um, for me, the sound, where I wanted to go with the sound, I kind of went energetically as opposed to vocally, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't fully get to go where I wanted to go with sound because I couldn't hear.
I could hear
Uh,
both of you, but
what?
sometimes I couldn't hear you and Akiko, but I could hear Natalie very well. And some areas, yes, I intentionally stopped when
Yes.
Natalie was playing. And sometimes I even stopped for you and just
Yeah.
playing it very low key so your voice would be louder.
I
But
think
you,
we need to. I like it. I think we just play with it a little bit more until we can get used to the kind of sound how it is on Insta.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was much better than Zoom.
Yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Much
So
better.
that's some feedback for the technology in Zoom. Zoom well.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
um, we've got some beautiful feedback from people watching, listening, that it sounded. Alana was saying it sounded good, and Rosie. Let me introduce to you Rosie, who's watching. She's actually quite an incredible sitar player, and she's actually one of the best musicians, technically, energetically, and spiritually, that I know. She was such a beautiful journey. She's had quite a lot of music success here in Australia and in Europe, and she started off as a client, and then we became friends, and then she started to learn kinesiology herself, and she's integrated healing, sound, and she's saying that she'd love to do this with us. So I will connect us all, Rosie. We will do something. But when you're next in town, Rosie, as you could hear, it's probably best if you're going to be here, let's do it in the studio, and we'll go live from my studio, Rosie. We'll do something live for sure. And maybe that way we can integrate with Atri.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the most amount of people you can have live on Insta is 4. Am I right? I think it's
Or,
4.
yeah.
You can, yeah, yeah. So it'd be easier, Rosie, next time you're in town, we'll definitely organize. Yeah, I could see, as you were speaking, Natalie, I could see that getting pulled out. Yeah, there's a lot of, yeah, a lot of stuff is being pulled out. Even this will continue for a good couple of days. It's going to continue.
Yeah. And I kept wanting to like grab a big hunk and like pull. But I'm like only allowed to do what is driven, like activated. So I had to stir up some of it and then like pull a piece out and then stir it up and pull again. And I'm like, oh, come on, just let me get my hand in there and just grab and pull it out. Okay, no.
Yeah, yeah, we've just got to do whatever's ready to be caught. And I think one of the things that assistance from the people watching or from sharing would be, the more permission that you give, the more you allow, the more you what we're choosing, where we're going, and the more you give permission for anything that doesn't serve the divine remembrance of who you are, anything that doesn't serve the divine I am of who you are. Like we just keep allowing that to go and to shift, because nothing is more powerful than that. And when you open that door of permission, even what we do live is 10x more powerful, right? We can do so much more. So
Mm-hmm.
my intention every time I do this with you ladies or live is that we just go as far as we can go and activate and release and shift as much as we can to accelerate our light into on this planet and within ourselves, really, because the planet will shift when we shift. If we're waiting for anyone, if we're waiting for ourselves, I believe it's us. It's us. We've got to let more light in, right?
It was beautiful because after I was like pulling and pulling, there was a piece that I was like, okay, like there's certain words that I have learned to recognize that I'm like, okay, this means it's coming up to the end where it starts to say hayate, hayate, when it kind of quiets down and is like, okay, we're
Yeah.
getting close to the end. And it had me seal on both sides. First, like this side and then this side. That had me run my hand over the whole earth and like coat it with that crystalline white and
Yeah,
like just soothe
crystal.
it and hold it. And it was so cool to like see the image coming up after pulling out whatever was pulling, to have that like coat back over and it just glow again. And I was holding it, and you guys were doing your thing, and as I was holding it, it was just glowing so beautifully.
I'm just doing a little muscle test because
Mm.
you curious to see some of the things that we shifted? All right, so sometimes when I'm like doing live sessions or my groups, like I'll run through a couple of the little things. What some of the more dense energies that we shifted in what we just did was grief. We shifted a lot of grief here today. We also shifted grief and guilt for whatever reason. So I think again, that's dark energy we no longer need, that does hold us back. So that's just on a verbal, if we were to do a little bit of a pinpoint of some of the things. And we also shifted some of the stuff that was really contracted. There was some contracted, really stuck energies, and that reminds me of what you were talking about there, Natalie. Where we've actually
Stirring.
gone, yeah, where we've actually gone, where we've actually gone, wow, okay, we've actually gone into what that little thing that we've just done there together is impacted really definitely up here in terms of allowing more prosperity, and impact has really gone into world impact. So even though we might have like again, you reach like one person, you don't know that that person can reach 100. Like your light, you know, I always do this analogy, like if you have a dark room and you think, how powerful can a little candle be? When you put a candle into a dark room, not only does it bring light into that whole room, but any reflection or any surface that has a tiny little reflection, that tiny little spark has the ability to light up the whole room if there's enough reflections or reflective surfaces, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
even though we might, some people, this was asked to me recently in an interview, like, oh, what about people who are doing a really powerful message but they don't have many followers and all of that? It doesn't really matter, because
Mm-hmm.
it really is of no consequence, because when you have that little candle, and you guys are amazing fires, you ladies are big fires, but even if you consider yourself a little speck of light in the cosmos that we are, the reflection of all the surfaces, and even 10 souls watching this, or 100, or that can go out to so many people. So it's truly powerful. You're wondering, like, can one person really have world and team and that impact? And I say 150%, because that's what we just did, ladies,
Wow.
and that's amazing. I can feel that. And we've definitely stepped into inspiration. So the thing that I would say to anyone watching is to go, keep filling your vision and your light with just something that's inspiring to you, and that's going to give you the biggest amount of reflectivity and light into the world. So that was amazing. We've really you've just, so that light language is, I got goosebumps as you were doing that. Big ones.
And
Beautiful.
and I was seeing too that those some of the earth core stuff is core wounds, and from back when it was some of the native things were taking place. And so a lot of that core wound is it being able to be accessible now, and pulling out some of that grief and some of that, the things that you muscle tested for that were directly being able to be allowed to shift and be removed. Because we're in a big time where those karmatic ties are being able to come to the surface, and, you know, have
It's
some
huge. It's so
resolution.
huge. It is so huge. And Alana's saying a few things about the muscle testing that's spot on. It's also funny, as you're speaking, a little bit more clarity on that while you're doing that, we're releasing the karma, the ancestry, but it's coming up as a very physical thing. So as a result, if you've listened to this and you're feeling some real physical shifts, I wouldn't be surprised, because it is shifting the genetics and the genetic memory. So for those of
Mm-hmm.
you, there will be people on here who don't necessarily believe in past lives and all that. So I honor you all wherever you're at in your journey. But for you may feel that genetically the cells and the memories in your DNA are actually shifting and clearing out, because that grief and that guilt, that the ancestry stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is really what keeps us heavy and anchored into some of the things that we've bought into here. And so, on a physical, there's a big physical shift as a result of today. Big physical shift. I love that. Not just karmic, energetic, and all that. You will feel it in your, you actually will feel it. So that's exciting.
It was really
I was checking. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
It was really nice when I was playing. There are some notes that I know their energy is really powerful, and it's because I've been playing for people and they actually get activated, especially during the breathwork sessions, and I see them literally start shaking and coming up to the point that I have to go and assist them. So there are some notes that are very powerful, and it was so beautiful seeing both of you when both of you were chanting, and you were actually connecting a lot, like very deep when I was playing those. And I was like, oh my God, I think feeling in their heart, because I was totally feeling it in my heart. And when I play, this completely syncs with my heart, so I can
Mm-hmm.
see how people are showing their response in their body, their body language, and the way that it's just they sit back and get so calm and relaxed, and very deeply, like you said, they go all the way down into their cells, into the DNA, and the frequency, everything starts bringing their vibration higher and higher. That's how they feel like they're somewhere out there and thinking about something else, but they're actually activating their DNA and their cell. So it was so just very beautiful seeing both of you chanting and at the same time like sitting back and enjoying it at the same time that you were
Yeah.
Oh, validating that what you're saying there, actually, Alana says, wow, now getting tingles going up and down my face when you're talking about the ancestry and the DNA things, that talking about, wow, they're shifting. Kathy also said, I felt a good physical shift. I think, yeah, and I'd actually like to paint while listening and meditating to the next time. Yeah, look, well, I think we're going to do this again, ladies. I feel that we will.
Mm-hmm.
I think we definitely will. We'll definitely post this one so that you can re-listen to it, so it will stay on our reels on all three of us. But yeah, definitely physical shifts, big physical shifts, huge. This is great. So look for. I would invite you to look for physical evidence, and when we know and validate something, your reality is only that which you see, validate, and create moving forward. So if you're feeling all of that, those of you watching and you feel a physical shift, keep looking for that evidence of that shift, and things will keep manifesting and materializing in front of your eyes. So that's cool. Yay, ladies.
And do you know what I see when I have a bath and I do a lot of work and I come out and I look out my window? The sunset is like usually happening, and I can see when I've done a lot of work that the sun is so vibrantly orange. It is like this powerful red and orange and yellow. Like it's the craziest sunset when I do the deepest work. Also, the sky will turn into like wispy pieces, like it just looks very flowy. So I always check when I've done this kind of work up in the sky to see what I see, to see if I can see a reflection of the work that was received.
I love that. I've had, what got me into my work was definite biological challenges in my body and endocrine challenges, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what caused me to get into kinesiology, and like that was my path, right? And I healed very, very quickly, but it still comes up when different things happen. When I'm doing this level of deep work, I can 100% tell you that the decrease in what I need to support my body is like next to nothing. And I actually physically have something that shows me what my body is doing on an endocrine level, and when I shift all this heavy emotion, or even on a physical level, I'm like, wow, I actually only needed, a quarter or half of a medication that I needed to take to balance my endocrine system. And I'm really transparent about that, because it's just, I see the evidence physically, and it's really exciting. Yeah. And that's not suggesting anything to anyone. Like, everyone's got to be responsible for their own health, like all the disclaimers, what have you. But I know my body, and I've experimented with my body since the age of 13.
wow.
And I've been in and out of hospitals. I've been in and out of surgeries. I've had challenging, challenges with my physical body. So it's been an amazing appreciation to see when something shifts majorly, and what we've just done. Like, it'll be really, I'm expecting some pretty cool things today.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I am delighted to like connect again, and we'll whip up another one of these and we'll get our schedules synced, and we'll come and do some heart-centered work again.
We absolutely will. And for everyone else out there, we've actually got a recording of what we did, which is also really beautiful. So I think we'll post that recording somewhere. So I think we've already done it, and we've done a little studio recording. So we may as well post a clean version of what we kind of did for you.
Beautiful. I think people also said that sound good from their side. Like we were all,
oh, it did
hear all of us. I think it's just us, probably we won't hear each other, but they hear all.
Yeah, you're right. And that's what happens. That's really good feedback. And that's what happens. Oh yes, and definitely will. Fantastic. We're definitely feeling the shifts. Thank you, Alana. I think you're right, because when it's like compression. When you speak, the sound around you gets reduced to try to improve your sound. But yeah, it's not the best when you're trying to do live sound. Kimmy, amazing. I'm feeling it now myself. Yay, that's awesome, Kimmy. I'll see you on our next Kimmy, I'll see you on our next quantum zone. I think we've got one on Monday, so I'll see you in our next quantum zone. Awesome. Yay. All right, so beautiful. We will be doing this definitely again. We love the feeling. We love the feeling it gives you. And over and out for now.
Beautiful.
Bye.
Thank you.
I'll add you as collaborators, ladies. I'll add you as collaborators when I get off, and that way I think it'll go to your reels as well.
Oh,
Okay, perfect. Thank
sounds good. Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay,
you.
bye.
See you. Bye.